A defiant and eloquent President Zelenskyy vows his country will win the war as he encourages Russian troops to surrender or die, as he is set to virtually address the U.S. Congress. That'll be tomorrow. Here with what he expects to hear, what he hopes to hear, Marine veteran, House Armed Services Committee member, Congressman Mike Gallagher. Congressman, how crucial is this address for Zelenskyy?
Well, I think Zelenskyy can go a long way towards inspiring the West to continue to provide lethal assistance. And this is going to get more difficult as the Russians escalate. They've reportedly started attacking supply lines near the Polish border, and that's why we can't flinch. We can't back down in the face of Russian pressure. And so I would like Zelenskyy to lay out exactly what he needs, talk in particular about the role that those Polish MiG-29s could have played in allowing him to stand up to Russia. The other thing I'd like him to address, and I don't know if he'll go there, is the role that China is playing in all of this in supporting Russia's slaughter in Ukraine. The Biden administration needs to stop playing footsie with the Chinese right now, because they're trying to portray themselves as peacemakers, but behind the scenes, they're standing by their man in Moscow. And the harder this gets for Putin, the more dependent he's going to become on China, both as a destination for weapons, supplies, as well as energy sales. And so we need to call out the role the Chinese are playing here. This alliance among authoritarian states is a feature of the new Cold War that China has launched against America. The sooner we recognize that, the sooner we can win the new Cold War.
Congressman, he keeps saying, I'm just the beginning. If he's able to take Ukraine or a portion of it, he's going for more. How does he convince the American people and American lawmakers that he's right, and do you agree?
Well, I think Putin's ambitions do extend beyond Ukraine. I think Zelensky's right to point that out. He's right to highlight the threat to NATO. And I think what he can do is show, based on the bravery of the Ukrainian people, based on the way he's leading from the front, that if we just have some confidence right now, if we stand up to this aggression, we can not only help the Ukrainians defend themselves, we can make sure that Putin is not tempted to destabilize the Baltic states or go after Poland going forward. But Zelenskyy is absolutely right to point out that Putin's ambitions extend well beyond Ukraine itself.
Congressman, you know the rules of war, as brutal as it is. You don't shoot buses, you don't blow up apartment buildings, you don't target hospitals, you don't target civilians. They are doing all these things. If they do that, does it get them the victory that they want in the end?
Well, I'm concerned that the Russians, despite suffering losses, despite being stalled, will stop at nothing to move slowly forward, consolidate their gains. And you're right, they don't abide by the rules. And over time, they may be able just to force Ukraine to submit. If nothing else, they may be able to consolidate their gains in the south. And I think that's a key point that led to this crisis in the first place. We assumed that Putin would play by the rules of the 21st century or abide by norms that we abide by. That's not the way a KGB thug like Putin operates. We need to stop projecting our value structure onto evil authoritarians like Putin or Xi Jinping, or we're going to continue to be surprised when they invade countries despite us threatening sanctions in response. They play by the rules of hard power. That is the world they live in, and we need to understand that's the world that we live in on the international stage.
Yeah, we pulled out the weapon systems before Barack Obama took office. We said we're going to sanction you if you don't get out of Crimea. We didn't do it. They kept all their land in Georgia, and then we tried to reason with them and threaten them with sanctions if they didn't invade Ukraine. Nothing works. We can't keep treating them like rational actors. You get that. I hope the world gets that. Congressman, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.